Hey everyone, Scooby-Doo here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of review on the life-size Baby Groot by Crazy Toys. Also too, we're going to be doing a general discussion and I'm going to go over a bunch of different topics regarding knockoff toy companies, what we're doing in the Star Wars room, and what we're going to be doing in the Avengers room. And I have so much stuff to cover that I actually wrote a lot of the stuff down here on this paper because I do have a lot to cover. So before we actually do the review on the Groot, we're going to be talking about those knockoff companies out of China. Now, as you know, Hot Toys comes from China, but they do licensed products. And the other companies that I'm going to mention, they're not licensed. Some of the things that they make are really good and some of them aren't. And we're going to cover a few of those, and I'm going to kind of talk about why I use some of the different items. So there's actually... I wrote them down. There's Fire Toys, Force Toys, Cat Toys, and Crazy Toys. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones, and for some reason they just like to have a name and then add toys to the end of it. So we're actually going to pick the camera up and we're going to go into the other room, and I'm actually going to add one more note to the paper to talk about. Alright. Okay, so let's make sure I don't forget anything. This is the first time I actually wrote anything down, but I had just so much stuff to cover. So let's go in the other room. And before we start talking about the first one, which would be Fire Toys. Did I mention Fire Toys? I think I did. Here we have two different Stormtrooper helmets. One's a Hasbro Black Series, and the other one is a Pulpatine. And so you can guess inside of the box, there's actually a battle spec armor, full armor set. For a new Stormtrooper 1-to-1 scale that I'm going to be building. And so if you're interested in that, you definitely want to stay tuned. I'm going to take a really inexpensive mannequin. I think I paid like 55 bucks for it, and that's including shipping. And we're going to modify that and then modify the actual Stormtrooper. Kind of like how we did with the Fett here. Because I have seen a lot of people that do armor sets and they put them on mannequins, but they kind of don't look real. And I really love how the Fett came out. And I'm going to show you the process on how to make the arms bend and make them look a little bit more lifelike. So that's going to be coming up with the Pulpatine. Okay, so excuse the mess with the Vader. Again, I'm doing work on the cabinet, so I have Vader just kind of sitting over here. But the first one is the Fire Toys, which the Fire Toys made a Princess Leia set to mimic the Hot Toys New Hope Leia. They sold the whole outfit and the head sculpt. I don't know how good. Let me see if I can turn the slide on here. I don't know how good this is going to come out, but so yeah, so that is a head sculpt from Fire Toys. And it looks really close to the Hot Toys one. And basically, I had the sideshow, which that's actually a sideshow, and I just changed out the head sculpt. But I still wanted to use it, and if you're familiar with the older sideshow, although they were good for the time, they don't really mix well with the newer figures that have been coming out the last couple years. In fact, we have the Hot Toys Leia right there. So that's the first one. I just had the sideshow and I wanted to upgrade it, and I wanted to use her more than once on the wall. Excuse me for the focus. The next one would be the Force Toys 1/6 scale Stormtrooper, which you can see I've actually used quite a few of these. Because at the time when they first came out, they were like 65 bucks. Now they're a lot more, but I already own so many different Hot Toys. I own 2 Hot Toys 2-packs. I own the Sideshow. I have different Sideshow Stormtroopers, Scout Troopers, TIE Fighter pilots, AT-AT pilot, which is down there, that I just couldn't, I couldn't spend the extra money just for background Stormtroopers. So that's why I use the Force Toys. I know some people may use the Hasbro 12-inch, but I wanted to be able to kind of pose my stormtroopers. So that's why I use the Force toys. Now on to the next one, which would be Crazy Toys. And we're actually going to come over here. Crazy Toys actually makes a whole bunch of different kinds. Oh, by the way, people were wanting to see Pulpatine's eyes, so I'm going to see if I can... I don't know if that's showing up or not. Let me get a little bit closer. He looks really cool in person, and really, really spooky. But yeah, I really like how that came out. Anyways, on to the Crazy Toys. They do a 1/6 scale Kylo Ren. They actually do a few different 1/6 scales in the Star Wars line. But I thought this one was like really good. Now, of course, I did some paint modifications on it. And I originally was going to go with the 1/10 scale, because these are Art FX, these ones over here. And I ended up purchasing him just to work on him. And of course I do have the diorama that we're going to be building, which is down here. Now here I do have the Hot Toys Rey and Finn, or I think maybe Finn might be Sideshow, I'm not sure. But I'm going to be building a really cool diorama that's going to be going right there. Again, I might end up adding some other 1/6 scales from the sequels. It just depends on how Episode 9 comes out, which we're actually waiting for the poster, which is right here. We haven't put it in yet, kind of waiting to get it. And over here we're still working on these shelves. And you can see the back of Fett and his jetpack. So anyway, so there's some examples. And just to talk a little bit about the Star Wars, I'm kind of hoping that when 9 comes out, that 9 is so good that it'll end up making the other two better. And what I mean by that is, like, when the prequels came out, I really didn't care for Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. It wasn't until Revenge of the Sith came out, and that's actually my favorite movie. I ended up appreciating the other two movies much more after the fact, and then I went back and watched them again. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, guys, that Episode 9 ends up redeeming the other two, and then as Star Wars fans, we could be happy again. So yeah, so which ones do I have left to do? Oh, cat toys. So on the cat toys, yeah, so the cat toys, and again, I'm going to do a review on this. This is a Cat Toys metal Thor hammer, and it is metal, and it's pretty heavy too. It weighs about, geez, over 5 pounds, I'm sure. And they also make like the Captain America shield and other stuff as well. And it has a really nice... Ugh. I mean, you could really do some damage with this hammer. You can see it has all the detail and everything. And it goes really well in the Avengers room, which is the last thing we're going to talk about really quickly, and then we're going to finally wrap it up with Groot. Isn't that right, Groot? I am Groot. Okay, so on to the Avengers part. Now, I've talked in the past on how I came up with the concept for the Back to the Future room. Same with the Jurassic Park, and same with the Star Wars. And so with the Avengers room that's coming up, it started with the Marvel's Legend Iron Man helmet, which is right here. And when I saw it, I just kind of had to buy it. I don't know if you guys are like that, but sometimes you see something, you're like, oh, I just have to get it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I kind of just have to buy it. So that was the case with this helmet. It's really cool. Let me see if it comes. I got some padding in there because I have it set up on that bus that I showed you in that one video. Really great detail. Again, I'll cover this when we start going over the Avengers room. But I purchased this and then had no place for it. And it was kind of like with the flux capacitor, which is right over there. Because if you remember, this was a 50s restaurant, diner. And that's all that this room was. And I purchased the flux capacitor. It stayed in my closet for months. And one day I got it out. And at the time I was trying to get it into the movie room, which is now the Star Wars room. And I just kept taking it around trying to find a place for it. And I finally found a place for it in the wall right there. But it really didn't go with anything. And then I kind of put the two together. I'm like, well, it's a 50s diner. They went back to the 50s. And boom, that's how the Back to the Future diner came to be. Just from just a simple thing of trying to find a place for the flux capacitor. And that's the same thing with the Avengers room. Have the helmet, and my bedroom at the time, well, it still is, I had it designed with these metal pieces. All right, these are metal, brushed metal, and I have red, blue, green, and purple. And I have these up on the wall, and they come in sets of 5, and I came across, there's a 5-color poster set for the Avengers, and I'm not sure if you've seen those before, but they come in all those colors plus the color gold. Now, I don't have the color gold in my room, but they have, you know, red is Iron Man, green is Hulk, and so forth. And so I tried to blend these together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, obviously, the helmet's going to go with the red, and the purple is going to go with the Thor. And everything in the room is all 1-to-1 scale. In fact, I even had these made up. These are Avenger logos, also in brushed metal. So you can see here I'm getting like all brushed metal. I have a Captain America shield, which is also brushed metal. And also 1-to-1 scale. So I had all this 1-to-1 scale stuff. There's all going to go together. The brushed metal. I didn't want to do any like shelving or 1/6 scale figures or anything like that. So with my design, I always like to have hidden Easter eggs. And so I was originally going to use a Ant-Man, Hot Toys Ant-Man, because that Ant-Man is really cool. And, just really quickly, yeah, so these are other crazy toys. I set them out, I was going to talk about them. So I think these are like the equivalent of like the Artifacts 1/10 scale. You've seen them before, I did the paint jobs on them. Anyway, so I was going to do the Hot Toys Ant-Man, but that guy is really expensive. Like, he's still like over $200, and for a hidden Easter egg in my design, it just really wasn't worth it, considering I still have to get other stuff for the Star Wars room and stuff, and I'm just kind of trying to put my money in the places that can do the best for my design. And so I happened to come across this Groot. It's life size. It's a baby Groot, life size. And he's actually just going to go over by my TV set. And basically what the hidden Easter egg for this one would be that people are going to go in the room and they're going to see the Thor hammer and the shield and the Iron Man and stuff, and then hopefully just out of the corner of their eye they'll just kind of catch Groot kind of popping out from behind the TV set, just kind of like he's wandering around. So that was my idea for him. It would have been cooler to do the Ant-Man, but again, it was just way too expensive. Now this Groot here comes with 3 different head sculpts. Same with the Hot Toys. The Hot Toys comes with the 3 head sculpts. The only difference between this and the Hot Toys is the Hot Toys, I think the detail is just a little bit better. And the Hot Toys comes with his longer fingers, so you can change out his hands with the really like long vined fingers. And it also comes with that outfit that he wears as well. But I think he looks better like this. So anyway, so you get this head sculpt. And then one almost kind of identical, because he doesn't really have that many expressions. But This is the other head sculpt. Now also too on him, on the Hot Toys one, where you take the head sculpt off, because he actually, his front of his head kind of pulls off. I'm not going to do it, but it just kind of pulls off in the front. You can see here where the seam is, which I think it still looks okay because he's, you know, he's supposed to be made out of wood, so he would have cracks anyways. Kind of goes with some of the cracks that are here. So, and the one on the Hot Toys, the seam is much less. So you have that. And then he also comes with a bunch of individual little pieces. Let me see if we get really close. You can see here some of the little leaves and stuff. You get about 6 of those, and they have like little teeny holes throughout his body that you can kind of place those. Now the only thing with that is I couldn't get them to fit into the holes, so I actually had to drill the holes out a little bit, but that's okay. It was like minor, so as long as you have like a little drill, you'll be able to do that. But yeah, I think he's freaking awesome. Isn't that right, Groot? I am Groot. And then too, if you look at the detail on the top. Now this figure also could really lend itself to giving it maybe like a black wash or a white wash. Maybe do some more highlighting with the green. But I'm actually just going to leave him as is. And again, he's really heavy and he's really quite posable. Like, you know, you could do him like this as long as you kind of do the weight distributing enough. Like, you can get him on one leg. And he stands just fine. Now, of course, he'd get knocked over really easy if you hit him, but again, really posable, really cool. He's going to run you about $50 to $55. They also have other versions that you can get off of eBay where he's dressed in other outfits from Avengers. Like they have like a Captain America one, a Thor one. They also sell them where he comes with like pants and a backpack. So yeah, really cool. It's a really long video. I think I covered everything. So yeah, so there's Groot. If you have any questions or comments about anything that you've seen, leave them down below. I did this whole video on one take, so if I sound a little bit out of breath, that's just because I've been talking the whole time. Also, too, I wanted to note, yep, I have it on the, somebody asked about my TIE Fighter helmets. Asked if they could send me their helmet and I would paint it for them. And I told them that I don't do commission work, but that I would do another video on how I did paint my TIE Fighter helmets. So I will try to put that out as soon as I have a chance. Same thing with the those guys over there. Those will probably end up being sold along with a lot of my other Star Wars stuff that I'm not going to use. So if you're interested in any of my work, a lot of it will end up going for sale. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to use it first, as I don't want to sell something and then turn around and decide I still need it. Like I'm going to be doing a little bit of changes to the Star Wars wall, and where I had painted that snow speeder. I took it off the wall, put it away in the box, and I plan on selling that. I'm actually going to bring that back out onto the wall. But things like my TIE Fighters, my X-Wing, those are probably all going to be sold. I have one of those 2 packs of the Hot Toys Stormtroopers. I have some of my Fets and some my other custom work. So just be patient with that if you're interested in any of that stuff. Just note that I generally don't do things on commission because most of all the work that I do, I just do for myself, and they're a one-of-a-kind thing. I don't think I could mass produce any type of figure or something like with these. I just did them once. I enjoyed doing them, and then that's it. Yeah, so I guess that's it for the video. Again, questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, and I think I covered everything. All right, I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.